I'm joined by Vic Demain, who's the new head groundsman at Durham. Vic, thanks for your time here.
Not at all.
We've spent the day here with Dennis and Sysis. You've been a speaker. You've told us a few amusing things. One of the things I wanted to ask you, you were right there at Trent Bridge when there was a storm surrounding the quality of the pitch and the stresses and the pressures that your boss was under there. Can you give us a little bit of an insight to that?
Yeah, it was a very difficult time. We prepared what we thought was going to be a very good test pitch. Trent Bridge is notorious for swinging a little bit and normally a little bit there for the bowlers, particularly early days. We didn't really think that would be any different. Preparation was good, weather was good. Unfortunately, we didn't see it coming, but the pitch wasn't as good as we had hoped for.
Just shows even the best can get it wrong, and it's such a variable set of variables you're dealing with weather, conditions, soil.
Well, Steve Burks, who's the head groundsman at Trent Bridge, has been producing really good test pitches for the last 20 odd years, and we've seen some of the best test matches at Trent Bridge, and it just 1 in 20 goes wrong, and unfortunately there are no real answers as to why it went wrong, but we have to try and take something from it and move forward, and I'm sure Steve will do that.
And valuable experience for you. You're now
absolutely
up at Durham.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the spotlight yourself.
Sure.
What do you take away from that experience for your new role?
What I take away from that is probably a little bit of worry, having seen what can happen. But I'm a firm believer in life, in all aspects of life. We need to challenge ourselves, and I'm a fairly ambitious guy, and I've got most of cricket on my CV now. The one thing that I would like to get is a test match as head groundsman. Hopefully it would go very well, end on the 5th day with an England win, but that's what we all aim for. But I am aware of the other side of it now, and yeah, if that happens, well, we'll have to live with that.
Well, that'd be some wisdom for you, won't it?
Absolutely.
I'm sure from that.
Yeah.
So the Durham job, apart from the test incentive, what other things have attracted you to go there?
Oh, I think just being a head groundsman, being in charge of the ground. I want to be responsible for producing pitches, for good cricket to be played on, and really to challenge myself and to do the best job that I can.
Now, you come through the ranks. Where did you start out?
I started off very much in village cricket, someone who's always loved playing cricket, and I didn't immediately go into cricket. I was a painter and decorator for 20 years until the housing market collapsed, and as someone who'd helped out at their local cricket club for many years, I saw an advertisement for more a cricket coach actually, which I have some qualifications in, and was lucky enough to get that job, but that developed my groundsmanship, and I spoke to a lot of people and I learnt on the job. Unfortunately I was made redundant there and moved on to Milton Keynes, and from there to head groundsman at Uxbridge, yep, and then Trent Bridge and on to Durham.
And
so it's been a long road.
It's been a challenge all the way through. So you've come really out of nowhere because you didn't set out to be a groundsman, yep, but you've ended up right at the very top.
Absolutely at the bottom. Started absolutely at the bottom. I feel that I'm an imposter. I'm alongside now some of the very best guys and very knowledgeable guys, and yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but we work together pretty well as a team with the other groundsmen, and I've had a lot of help from some of those guys, but then I've had help from everywhere that I've worked, from the villages starting off. People have always been willing to share knowledge.
And those people who have helped you through your career, who's been the biggest influence, would you say?
Oh, that's a very difficult one. I could go in my very early days with a guy called John Pilcher, who was a volunteer groundsman at Challen Children Cricket Club in Oxfordshire, who taught me very early that our job is to put cricket on, it's not to call it off.
Right.
Then moving on, various employers. Richard Bryce at Campbell Park, Northants, is a really good guy and helped me a lot. Guys that I've worked with in various locations and people that I've spoken to. Obviously Steve Burks when I went up to Notts, and really getting involved with the first-class groundsmen, being able to chat to those guys and listen to them and take a lot from them. And I think probably one of my greatest advisors recently has been Stuart Carrison at Essex.
Right, okay. One thing I will ask you, we've got a lot of readers that are not quite as far up the tree as you are.
Right.
What would you give as one single piece of advice?
Always challenge yourself. Constantly challenge yourself. Never settle for what you've got. Always aim for something better.
That's great. I think that's a great note to end on.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot, Vic.
Thanks very much indeed.